retail business, a really big one, Modell Sporting Goods. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. But I didn't start there. I didn't just get that position. They didn't just be like, oh, here, you want to be a manager here. They don't just give it out. You got to earn it. And to earn it, you got to be professional. You got to be an adult. So I'm gonna just take a quick seat here. Like he was telling you guys about the program that you guys have here at school, co-op. I'm not sure how many of you guys are seniors or juniors or whatever. But as a senior, you got the opportunity, but you need to take it seriously. I myself, I was a regular kid. I didn't really care too much, but I'm not gonna go too far into it. I got put into a position where I had to grow up. I was 16, 17. I told myself, hey man, you gotta grow up or else you're gonna be left in the dust, right? So I wanna say junior year, I got confronted with the opportunity of being the co-op program. So that's basically, I would like to think of it as college life. You go to school for half the day and you go to work the rest of the day. So I told myself, you need to step up. So, I mean, my senior year, I started it with a regular job, supermarket job. I was a regular kid, you're earning my money, going to school. I thought I was living the life, right? But then, certain things occurred and I quit that job because I just didn't, want to do it anymore. But then it really hit me like, man, you're gonna get kicked out this program. You gotta go to school for the rest, of the year, just day by day, full time, whatever. And I didn't want that, right? Because I told myself before I needed to be an adult, so I had to grow up. I found a new job immediately. The day after I quit, I found a new job. I was just a regular cashier, and Mr. Collins actually, he told me, he's like, hey man, you can't be skipping jobs like this. You gotta, get into the straight path. And that's what a lot of you need to do. You gotta get into one path and you gotta follow that path all the way till you get to the end. I'm nowhere near the end, but I'm getting there. So basically I just started as a regular, associate, cashier, whatever you wanna call it. And yeah, I was just a regular kid, but I was trying to get to the top, right? I didn't wanna just be a cashier that gets pushed around or told what to do. And I don't wanna talk to it as if it were insubordination or whatever, but I wanted it to be, better. And then a couple months into the job, school ended, I graduated. That's when it hit me. After graduation, I was in the seats. I was like, man, after this day, I'm not in high school anymore. I'm not a high school student no more. I gotta step up. I was gonna go to college, yeah, but like going to college, in my opinion, just isn't enough. If you wanna be big and you wanna do great things, you gotta do big things and do great things. So here I am, summer 2019. I had to pick whether to party every day, go crazy before I go to college or whatever, or step up, be an adult. And that's what I did. Let's say 7 months into being a Modell's regular cashier, I found my managers, and I didn't plan it out either. They were all in the office talking to each other, and I told them, hey man, I could do a lot for you guys. I have a lot of responsibility. I'm a skilled person. I could do a lot for you guys. And that's when they started talking to me about getting a promotion. So it's kind of rare in my situation and in the company wide. At the moment, I'm the youngest manager in the company. I'm only 18. And I got there because I showed them I could do big things. I didn't just tell them I told them, but I showed them. And they all saw my potential, and they all embraced my potential to the higher ups. Be like, hey, this kid has something, right? So I got promoted from cashier, a regular cashier, like if you guys were to get the job right now, a regular cashier, to a manager right now. I run the show in the store. Like, there's certain tiers, but at the moment I'm there. Like, that store is mine whenever I'm in there, right? And then that's just like a really big step. And you come to think of it as, oh yeah, he's a manager, but no, it's a lot of responsibility. And I'm telling you, if you don't grow up and become an adult, like you tell yourself you're gonna become an adult, you're not gonna get pushed. I tell my associates, my employees, hey man, if you wanna keep this job, you gotta step up, you gotta grow up, you gotta be responsible, you gotta show that you want the job, right? You can't just, go there for your paycheck. I mean, some people go there just for money. I mean, I'm in it for money too, but you gotta, go there to actually work your butt off, pay your bills. I know a lot of you don't have bills right now, but trust me, when you get out of high school, your parents are gonna look at you like, yo, you gonna bring some money in, or are you just gonna be a loner and just lay in bed all day? You you gotta bring your money in, and you gotta grow up. That's like the main topic right now. You gotta grow up. And then at the moment, I've been a manager for like, let's say 3 months, but it's a big process. I had to get trained properly. I had to know how to run a store. They weren't just gonna throw me in there with a manager title and be like, here. No, it's a lot of training. And I'm gonna be honest, it's a lot of stress too. I don't like to think of stress as something I like to do. A lot of people stress over tests, this and that, but you can't stress. Like, you gotta be on your game, because if you're panicking, then your employees are gonna panic. If they panic, the store's just gonna be hectic. Like, it's gonna be crazy. So you gotta tell yourself again, I'm an adult, I'm a professional. I do this. I get this done. And that's the only real way you're gonna go far. Just reminding yourself you're big, you're gonna do great things, you are great. And the ultimate goal is to, get farther in life. At the moment, I don't want to see myself at the company really, really far along. Like, I don't want to be in my 40s at the company, of course. Like I said, I want to keep striving. I'm only halfway through the tunnel. I want to get to the top. And to get to the top, you got to take steps. Sure, I could get my own store, be a general manager, basically have the store under my name. But that's just another step if I were to go that way. I get told it's surprising, remind you guys, I'm still 18. I came into the store, after leaving my old store, because I had to transfer to, be the manager at a different store. They had enough managers over there in Livingston Mall. I'm at the Bloomfield store now. And everybody's just like, oh, you're a new manager or whatever. But they didn't know how old I was. They didn't know how fast I moved up. But that just comes to show you that I didn't just get thrown up there. I was trained properly. I was shown how everything goes. I'm an actual manager. So when I go to tell them, when they find out I'm 18, they're like, what? You're 18? How are you younger than me and have a better job than me, right? And I tell them, man, I just pushed it. I pushed it all the way until I got what I wanted, and I have what I need. Career education was brutal. I was here for like an hour and a half, sitting here listening to Mr. Cowan's talk. It was like 5 people in the class every day, because people like skipping. But I was here, to get my stuff done, to get my grades up, to get out of high school, to go to college, to have a better life, right? To make my money worth it. I was looking at that quote over there earlier. People are just, I'm interpreting it as we're getting money just to spend it. Just to show everybody else, hey man, look, I got money. I like, spoiling myself all the time. I buy myself nice shoes, nice clothes, jewelry or whatever, but that's not the big thing. The big thing is that money needs to go somewhere. And you're not gonna get it if you don't, show yourself up. And then going back to being in this class, it's just a regular class, right? You guys don't think much of it, but it teaches you a lot. I learned a lot from this class about being responsible, how to have a real interview. To get promoted, I wasn't just push up there. I got an interview from the big guys. The big guys were in the room talking to me. What can you do for this company? What haven't you done yet? Where can you fit in? What can you do best? And being in interviews, you gotta take it seriously. You gotta show you're for real. I like how all of you are looking at me right now, straight on, eyes. But that's the way it is in real life. If you don't look at somebody straight up and show them you're worth it and you know what you're doing, you're not gonna go nowhere. You can't pull up to an interview just slouching, twiddling with your fingers, playing with your phone. You gotta have a straight face. You gotta be serious about it. If you're not serious, you're not gonna go nowhere. You're not gonna take big steps. You're not gonna do anything in life. And then also as a manager, I have to meet a lot of expectations. I gotta, other than running the store, I gotta know what I'm doing. I gotta know how to deal with things. I'm in the retail business. Customers is everything. So if I don't know how to deal with a customer, how do I look? I don't look like a manager, right? If I'm not dealing with customers right, dealing with my employees right, all of that. And then back to being professional. You can joke around, talk to people, have fun, but being serious is the key thing. I like to mess around with my associates, my employees. I like to think as if I'm their friend, I want to be cool with them. I want them to be comfortable with me. But the number one thing I was taught as, getting a higher up job is that you're their boss first, right? You're their boss before you're their friend. So they need to know who you are, what you do, and ultimately that you're their leader. You run the show. So like being professional, having a good mindset. What you learn in this class, you may not think of it now, but in the long run, it'll affect you a lot. There's days where I remember what Mr. Collins tells me, how at an interview, you straight, you have a good posture, you talk right, right? If you don't talk right, you don't act right, you don't have a good posture, you don't look presentable, especially coming with ripped jeans, then people aren't gonna look at you like you're responsible, like you're a professional. I like to think of myself as a professional. I'm 18, yeah, whatever, but I'm an adult. I'm a professional. And people need to see that, right? A lot of people just be like, hey man, he's got lucky. Nah, I didn't get lucky, man. It wasn't like a day and night I'm a manager. No, it was huge. The big step it didn't take that long, yeah, because I pushed myself, right? People are like, how did you become a manager in under a year, right? I've been in the company for a year and 2 months, maybe that, and I'm a manager. I got there, I pushed myself, and people are just like, how'd you get that far, right? How are you doing this right now? How are you going to school, especially? Oh my God. Dealing with school, college, whatever you want to call it, going to work, dealing with your own stuff, it's hard. I get home sometimes like at midnight. I have long, hard days. I wake up to go to school at like 7 o'clock in the morning. I commute, so I don't dorm or nothing. I go to school, I got my classes done, I make sure my grades are good, I do my work, I go to work, all that. Let's see, on an average day, I get maybe an hour or two of free time. And then my other coworker reminded me, he's like, yo, I think I'm at work a lot more than I'm at home. And you gotta take those sacrifices. You gotta, like I said before, you gotta put the time in. If you don't put the time in, you're not gonna do anything. Just recently, I got an email from, I'm not sure if you know, Modell, the CEO of the company. He was like, hey guys, I hope all is well, because I have to work Thanksgiving night. Yeah, you guys want to be with your family, I want to be with my family, but money has to be earned, right? Someone has to run the show. You need to make money somehow. And then he sends us an email, he's like, hey man, I hope all is great, hope your families are well. I know you're going to be spending a lot of time with the company, and we really appreciate it. And that means something to me. I'm not just there just to sell his clothes, to sell his stuff, to just make sure there's a manager in the building. It means a lot. The company supports me a lot too. They know I'm in school. The higher ups, they were like, oh, how's your schedule gonna work? I was like, I'll make it work. You just make sure that you help me out along the way. Most nights I just close. I'm there midday to night, and then because I'm in school in the morning. And they understand that. They understand that to do big things, I gotta do other stuff along the way. And it's great the way they treat me. I get tons of support. I can't go too much into it because it's a lot of details and a lot of stuff I can't say.